Hello, my name is Carl Downs. We've got a real problem I wanted to visit with you about. It's AI is ascendant, and it's going to be replacing jobs at scale, and not just some jobs, but probably most. So 20, 30, 40, 50% unemployment, yeah, that's coming. The timing is uncertain, but it's inevitable. Personally, I think it's going to happen quite quickly. Meanwhile, nobody appears to really have any actual plan to address it. There's a lot of hand waving about things like UBI and other similar types of programs. And we're hearing promises that AI is going to deliver abundance to everybody eventually, but no one is offering any specifics on how that will materialize. Congress is pretty much in data gathering mode. No real substantive policies that I've been able to find have been released or even are being discussed. Now, there's some that say new job types will be created by AI, and that's probably true. But AI will inevitably reach a point, I think you can agree, where there simply will be no economic value a human can add that's going to top what an AI will be able to do. And meanwhile, we all have bills to pay. And how are those bills going to get paid, man? So that's the obvious massive problem. And we're all going to have to face it, and probably pretty soon. Now, the good news is there is a solution, and I'm going to present that to you today, and it's called the human credit. So here's how the human credit works. This is a policy that can be enacted as legislation in the United States, and what it is it's a market-based, voluntary, federal tax incentive program designed to fundamentally change our economy. The capital labor economy we've been tied to all these years is dying, and we need something new. An economic model that places citizens at the center of the value chain is what's required. So the mechanism behind the human credit is actually pretty simple. Every U.S. citizen gets one human credit in a given tax year. Now, this isn't a handout. It's your birthright as a citizen of the United States. And it's your guarantee to well-being in the coming post-work reality. It's also a generous federal tax credit that is worth a lot to the private sector, corporations. Now, corporations exist, as we all know, to deliver maximum value to their shareholders, and minimizing taxes and labor costs is part of that work. And your human credit, which you receive just for being a citizen, can directly provide that tax relief that the corporations want. But to acquire human credit, corporations must earn it, and they can only do that by directly helping you. If they succeed in helping you, then you give them your human credit. They get to reduce or eliminate their federal tax bill dollar for dollar. So now, why does this work? Well, it's actually pretty simple. Private sector participation is purely voluntary. This is a free market capitalist design. But the incentives of the human credit tax credit system are so lucrative that corporations will want to engage, and they will compete with each other for the privilege of helping you. So you're in the driver's seat. You get to choose which provider you want to work with. This is your agency in action, a market-driven mechanism for negotiating service delivery, and it's based on outcomes. So human credit is not cash that the government sends you. It's not money. It defines outcomes such as you have health care, you have food security, you have housing. The more you need help, the more valuable your tax credit is to the private sector. If you're a family of four, then your family would receive 4 credits to negotiate with. The outcomes aspect is super important. Tax breaks incentives are generous, and that gives the private sector a clear ROI to justify the expense they will incur to deliver your outcome. So one of the key elements, the unlocks that the human credit creates, is an absolute pure bipartisan environment. Now, I believe Congress and the executive want to do the right thing for the American people. But partisan agenda misalignment has prevented consensus on any real solutions in the past. With the human credit system, the agendas of both parties finally align. What does that mean? Well, it means that conservatives get what they want, which is the largest tax cut in history, bar none. Free market delivery of services, individual choice, and legacy entitlements can be phased out. Progressives get universal coverage, they get corporate accountability, they get first-class help for the most vulnerable in our society. It's the same mechanism, the same legislation, both sides telling the truth to their constituencies. Both sides of the same coin is what human credit is. Now, that has just never happened in American politics before. So here's a concrete example of how it works. Human credit can provide free health care for all Americans. Here's the illustration of how it delivers a win-win-win. Assume Congress assigns your human credit a health care component, a tax credit value of about $25,000 a year. Okay? So your insurance company currently makes, let's call it $12,000 a year on your premium. It's $1,000 a month. But another insurance company approaches you and offers you free health care. You accept, and that company receives your $25,000 tax credit. So you get free care, and the $25,000 credit means that the new insurance company profits $13,000 on the deal. They made $13,000. So your new insurance company can offset their taxes, or because human credits are fungible, your insurance company can choose to sell the credit to Google or Meta or Anthropic. In other words, companies worth trillions in the future who need the tax write-offs. You get free health care, they make more money, everybody wins. So the math, how does this work? How does it get paid for? Well, the aggregate total compensation for U.S. labor in the United States per year is approximately $16 trillion per year. Okay? So there's 340 million people alive in the United States, and about 162 million people are currently employed. It amounts to an average of approximately $100,000 per year per worker. Okay? If AI causes a 50% unemployment, that eliminates an estimated $6 to $8 trillion in annual labor costs. Now that money flows to corporate bottom lines as profit, which triggers massive tax liabilities. Depending on the human credit incentives, the 6 to 8 trillion annual labor savings directly funds citizen well-being. The program is paid for by the very AI productivity gains that displaced workers in the first place. That is a human credit AI dividend unlock. Now there's more than that. If human credit works as expected, we would have a fair and abundant mechanism for phasing out entitlements over time. That frees up an additional $4.17 trillion of annual mandatory spending, meeting the well-being needs of all U.S. citizens. So the money's there, this can work. So now you might be sensing that this can deliver for all of us. I mean, we're talking about real peace of mind, because with human credit, you won't actually have any bills. Your human credit claim on services means your housing, food security, insurance, and other aspects of well-being are provided by the private sector. The old job gave you agency. You traded time for money. Now with human credit, you continue to have agency, control over your life, but even better than the old paycheck used to give you. The struggle will end. You can retire immediately, regardless of savings. And this isn't socialism, and it's not communism. This is 100% pure free market capitalism, just with the arrangement changed. So my name's Carl Downs. I've been a software engineer, had a great career. I'm now retired. If I thought some other plan existed or was being talked about, then I wouldn't bother making this video. I'd just go in and enjoy my retirement. But I'm not seeing that, so I decided that it's time for me to do something. So if you find this idea intriguing, please go to humancredit.org. There's a sign-up page there. Please sign up and pass the word around. Forward this to your friends. Talk to your congressman. This is an idea that's time has come. Thank you.